Hello, my name's Vince, and today I'm going to do another workflow video in Ableton Live 10, and I'm going to learn from my previous videos. I've actually bought a dynamic microphone, and I'm hoping that's going to give us a better sound quality. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, bought myself one of those USB microphones, a Yeti, but it just wasn't cutting it. It was picking up all this noise. It was just pretty shocking, actually. It was just picking up every single click in the room, and I didn't have my room's not treated, so you could even hear me typing and tapping away. So this is going to be a better sound quality. The other feedback I got from the last video I did was that I didn't really explain my process very well, and it seemed kind of random. So I'm going to do my best and do my best to explain the processes I go through in creating music. So basically, like the other video, if this is too basic for you or you'll find it boring, just switch it off. If you find it interesting, definitely leave some comments. Let me know if you found it useful or interesting. If you want to see more, please subscribe. So let's click. So basically what I like to do is I like to experiment. Either I'm going to start with an instrument, any of these Ableton instruments, and the plugins. I've got loads of plugins that I like, or I will sometimes go to my Splice folder, and here on the left hand side you can see the Splice folder. The reason I've got it like that is literally if you right click on it, you can see the files that I've recently downloaded from Splice. Quite a lot of stuff, actually. Okay, and I've got this folder is linking to this location on my computer. So every time I download something from Splice, it goes directly into this folder. So what I do is when I bring in some new samples from Splice, I will click on this date modified button, and that just sorts it by date order. So you can see the date order here. I've never used these, but I've recently brought in some a cappella vocals from Eliche Le Bon, which quite nice.
Cause we
etc. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of those samples. So that's how I do it. That's basically how I organize myself in terms of Splice and in terms of downloads. I've got loads of other downloads in here. Now, there was a comment before that I should have my kicks organized, my snares organized, my hi-hats organized. I don't do that. There might be a bit of laziness there, but I don't do that because I like to discover stuff as I'm recording. So there's two schools of thoughts, I guess. There are those people who know exactly the style and genre of music that they want to do and the sort of sounds that they're looking for, and they tend to be the same types of sounds, which is cool, and I've done that myself. Or me, I make any type of music. I just make music because I love making music, and I will make EDM and I'll make pop. I'll make slower songs, like classical songs. I'll make basically anything that I feel like doing at that time. So in that case, I'm not looking to organize my EDM kicks and snares and stuff because I don't know what I don't know. I like to explore. Okay, so what I mean by that is if I want a kick and I'm in the Splice folder, I know I've downloaded a kick from from Splice. I already know that I like the kick because I downloaded it, right? Because I would have chosen the specific sample. I like the kick. Okay, so all I do here is in this search area, I just type the word kick in. Okay, and you'll see a bunch of nothing basically. But if you just right click on one of these arrows, and then I'll just use the keyboard just to keep looking, and basically you can just audition a few. So there's some kicks there, different types of kicks. I mean, a kick's a kick, isn't it? I mean, there are different types of kicks, they're different, you can tune them, etc. But if it's the first thing that's on your track, which it tends to be for me, it doesn't really matter what the kick is unless you're looking for a specific type of sound. So what I have here, actually, I don't know why it's in the splice folder, but Jonas Aiden has a free download pack. And so this looks like a kick from Jonas Aiden. So let's just use that. Okay, so the other thing, okay, let's just bring that kick in first. So I'll put it literally anywhere. I mean, I could put it here, okay? I really don't care where I put it. I'll just put it there, and that's my starting position for the song. Okay. So then I will just literally copy and paste it. And when I copy and paste it, I just select the entire area that it needs to be copied from, and then that will copy it to by pressing Control V. So let's just listen. Yeah, that's the other thing I have problems with. I have to do it that way, so I'm just selecting the whole area. I've got the metronome on, so I know if I'm doing it right or wrong. So this is 128 beats per minute. The one thing a lot of people don't realize is the first sample that you put in just literally inherits, and you can't see this here actually, it inherits the BPM of this first sample that you use, if that makes sense, unless you're using a one shot like this. So before this, and you don't see this, I actually put another sample on the screen, and that had 128 beats per minute. So I just inherited that. I'm just going to slow it down a bit to 120. Okay, we don't need the click anymore because it's just there working. So the other thing I like to do is I will select the bar, click loop, and this is my working area now. So I just will go, and then we'll get the rest of the drum beat, I guess. And so we'll get the hat. So just type hat in. I've got a John Sign sample pack. It's all free if you go to his website or his YouTube channel. Let's have a look at this cymatics. So with hats, it's just simply a matter of the same. So it's just a matter of the same, but you maybe want to put the hat in between the kick sounds, just to get a bit of rhythm going on that. So I'm just going to copy that and repeat by pressing Control D, D, and D. I may need more. Let me just see. Yeah, I just need more. Control D. That's better. So you may want to just do some variation there. Let's get a open hat in there, and just in there, just for variation. It's a bit loudish, or maybe the other hat's too soft, but just to equalize the levels by. Okay, so what I'm doing here, should explain. What I'm doing here is just selecting the sample and just making it, reducing the volume of that sample. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do here. There's high Q, RAM, and they've been, since I've ever used Ableton, these have been functions in the system. The only one I would tend to use is reverse and transpose. Sometimes I use detune, and I use the volume bit. Let's have a listen. So the other thing I'm not that comfortable with is the the volume levels of these kicks. So if you select the first kick sample, you get this sample area here. If you press Shift and select all of the samples, you can actually control the volume of all of the samples, which is what I want to do. I just want to get them a little bit away from the edge. So what this means, let me just expand this. What this means here is if you get too close to the top of this picture, this nice picture, it's just going to be too loud. And if it goes right to the top, it might even be clipping the sounds. So just want to keep that within a safe sound area, and just to make sure there's no clipping once we put some other things on top of it, like effects and stuff. Okay, so we've got that. Next thing to do is put some snare. Got loads of snare options. Most of them are loops. Let me just go down a bit. Most of the more recent ones are loops. So that one's fine. It's huge, that one. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do just cut the sample. Sorry, what am I doing here? Yeah, so I'm just going to cut that sample. Just press Control E to cut it, and just click on that and press Delete to remove it. So there you go. Let's just listen to it again. Okay, so that sounds okay. So the next thing you want to do, that I'm going to do, is put my bass in. So I'm just going to get some bass going. A few options. Okay, so for bass, there's a few options. So it's decision time. You've got to make a decision. I like to use MIDI for bass. There's two ways you could go about doing this. You could copy an existing sample. So for example, if I type bass in my splice area, I can just take a sample. So let's use that one. This is just to demonstrate what I'm doing. We can just change this, sorry. Change this a little bit by moving things across. Just change the timing. Just get that bigger sample in there. Let's just get that one in. Just want to start it on the. Just start it there. Okay, so we do the same trick here in terms of we can select the whole thing, press Control E, just to chop really the top bit and the end bit off. So as I said, this is one technique. I'm not actually going to use this for the song. I just want to show you what I do. So I'll just take that bass sample, press Control J just to make sure we've got a unique sample. And then I'm going to right click on that and then select Convert Melody to New MIDI Track. Harmony would be for chords, melody is for single notes like this. Well, this is a stereo file, but it doesn't matter, it's still single notes. Just going to delete these. Oh, it's not finished actually. It's taking a while. So I'm going to just delete these sends. These sends are part of the template, the Ableton template, and I do need to change my default template. I just got to kill those sends. So let's just hear what happens here. So this is the new MIDI file that got created. Okay, so yeah, that sounds a bit weird. So let's just go in just by double clicking the MIDI file, press Ctrl J, and just see what's wrong. And now I'm going to click the preview button, which is here. So every time I select it, I can hear it. You can see here, this one's a bit darker than the other ones. It just means it's darkness means it's lower volume. You can see here the volume, just bring that up. It's quite low on that particular note in the MIDI clip. The lighter it is, the higher the volume. So that's interesting anyway. So let's listen again. So it's completely out. I think if you look at compare the sample with the MIDI, there is no sound at the start here, but somehow we picked up that sound. So I'm going to get rid of that. You can see they're kind of lining up. So let's bring that like there, just line it up a bit. Let's just hear the original. And that's probably why it's not very melodic. So that could line up a bit more. Let's just expand that out. So I'm just literally holding the right mouse key and expanding. I'm just going to make sure we've got, you can just see that it's lining up. It's not quite lining up, so just bring that up to here. That's not lining up, so bring that there. Let's just listen to it again. And obviously you can select all by pressing Ctrl A, and then you can go to quantize. Okay, so it sounds like shit, but what I would normally do then is just take the bass bit, and this is dangerous now because Diva is a hog, but I love Diva in terms of its bass sounds. So let's just see if we can get a Diva plugin. So all I've done here is typed Diva, and as soon as I click plugins, I know I'm going to see Diva. There it is. Also, you can see the colors here, red and yellow. I've actually saved it to my favorites, so all I had to do was literally click favorites. Even if I got rid of Diva, it would just be very easy just to find it. It's just there. Okay, so let's just bring Diva into that track. Okay, and we're going to look at the presets, select a bass preset. Okay, I don't know what it sounds like, but let's listen. Okay, that's very deep. Okay, so that's what I tend to do. So actually, this preset actually sounds pretty awesome. So I didn't have to do very much with it. But if I want to, this is the real power of Diva for me, is if I want to tweak the sound to get the sound that I want, you can just tweak any of these knobs, and you get the sound that you want. I mean, I'm not going to go through how Diva works, but let's just change the resolution and the cutoff. And you've got the FM roll here. And you could do a delay if you want. and change the dry wet signal. You can change the attack and the sustain, or the ADSR actually. I mean, it's sorry, pardon my French, it's very, very good diva. So that was a little experiment for you. So that's one way of getting a bass. But today I feel a little bit more inspired. So let's just bring in another MIDI track. Let's bring in, instead of diva, we'll just bring in Hive. Hive is another favorite. Actually, it's not in my favorites. Let's look under VS, under plugins. There's Hive. So this is what I mean. If you know what your plugin is called, and I know what all of mine are called, it's just very easy and quick in Ableton to bring it up. So let's drag that in. So Hive is made by the same people that make Diva, Uhi, and I love Hive for very different reasons. I just like it for the presets, and it's low CPU, which is kind of the opposite of Diva. So I like it as a way to audition quickly nice sounds, okay? And actually it's got some excellent sounds in here that you can actually use properly. So let's go into the basses presets. We'll start with the presets, and then we're going to arm the track. And I'm literally playing this on my laptop. Famous last words. Let's just check out what's going on there. Ooh, it's not working. Shiv me timbers. What the funk is going on? Oh, okay, schoolboy error. This always happens to me. To use the keyboards, you need to press this little button here. That's better. Hey! So let's give that a rock and roll. Let's just audition a few sounds. This will do. Okay, so I'm going to press Z, and Z brings the keyboard of the laptop down by an octave. So I'm just going to come up with a tune. I'm just literally ad hoc here. That'll do. Okay, so you can always change it. That'll do. So you see here, I haven't pressed this button here, which is the overdub button. So it's just literally overwritten that bit there. But what you can do is press Control Z, and magically it comes back to life. Let's double click on this baby. So one thing I may not have done and should have done at the beginning is select Edit, Record Quantization. Yeah, quantization should be, well, for me, I tend to set it to 16-note quantization. I really need to get a template sorted out. But basically, what that does is before you record the song, it'll just automatically quantize it. So this is not quantized, but it's no problem. Select all, Control, quantize settings, and Voila, 'tis done. I mean, there's a bit of a problem there. Just so I'm going to this bit here that annoys me. So I'm going to select to get rid of all this garbage at the beginning and at the end of the clip. I'm going to select the clip, press Ctrl J. That consolidates it, and all you have is what you need. That's perfect. Okay, so the problem here is this last note. Okay, that's good. I don't need to hear it again. Just going to repeat it. Just got a slightly longer loop. So that's my bass. This is going to be a quick video. I don't want to take too long, but I can do other things to the bass. And in fact, let's just do that. So let's layer some sounds on the bass. So what I can do here is I actually select Hive. I'm going to press Ctrl G. I'm going to put it in an instrument rack. It's basically like a group. Then I press this button here, which is the chain list, and there's Hive, our friend. And since I've clicked on it, I will press Ctrl D, which is duplicate. Okay, so now we have another Hive with exactly the same instrument in it. And what we're going to do is look for another sound. So you've got the previous sound going, and we're going to add a different sound, okay? So many good sounds. I'm just going to stick with that one. Just to demonstrate the process, I can add more sounds. So in the chain, you can do some cool stuff. And what I like to do with my basses is EQ. So I like to use the Pro Q. So just type in Pro and all the Fab Filter stuff comes up. So we'll just get the Pro Q free. We put it in this second one. So we're just going to what we're going to do here is I'm going to kill any stereo up to around about 150. So just select that. 160 was fine. So not stereo, side, any side signal, just going to low cut that. Yes, I know there's much faster ways of doing this, but I like doing it like this. So we just solo. Just that bass bit. That bass bit, it's just the bass bit is mono, okay? So that's cool. I can do the same thing with the other one, but I think this is fine. So the other thing is, the second sound is a little bit overwhelming the first one, so I'm going to reduce the volume to -6. If I just reduce that more. Actually, that was reduced too much. Okay, so there is more stuff we can do. I think just to glue them together, we just put a glue compressor into here at the end of the signal. Just reduces any peaks of the signal. That is not very loud, but I'm just going to reduce the dry wet. That should make it louder. Okay, that's good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that MIDI instrument and duplicate it. This time I'm going to put another instrument. I'm not going to put another hive. I've got this instrument called an M1. M1 is very useful. Let's bring that into here. Hopefully that replaces everything that's in there. Get rid of the glue compressor. So the M1 is just an old emulating. It's an emulation of the classic Korg M1 from the 80s and 90s. I guess it's from the late 80s or early 90s. So what I want to get here is just a little synth lead or poly sound. Because I duplicated the track, it will play exactly the same as the bass sound. Well, let's select it first. Oh, we have to select a sound. Auditioning is a bit of a bitch with the M1, actually. That sounds awesome. So that's cool. We've got a nice little lead sound. Okay, so that's done. So the other thing I didn't really tell you is you can select the whole range there, that whole loop, and then press Control J, and voila, it's nice and clean now. Okay, really, we should be renaming stuff, otherwise it gets messy. Just call this one hats, and call this one claps, I think it was. Or was it snare? I can't remember. Claps. This one's bass. Shit. I just duplicated it like an idiot. This Control Z brings it back to normal. So that's bass. And just call this one M1. That's fine. So next thing to do is we're going to get another. Let's insert a MIDI track. We're going to put another M1 in there, but I'm going to use my friend called Scalar because I've got a MIDI, I've got a laptop keyboard. I'm not going to be able to play any chords. I'm bringing chords in now. So Scalar is your friend when it comes to chords. And believe me, I've used Captain chords. I've got Captain chords. I've got Captain melody, Captain beats, Captain everything. And it's still not as good as Scalar. It doesn't matter how much they improve the Captain shit stuff. It's not shit, actually. It's really nice. But it's just not as useful for me as Scalar. So this is why I think it's useful. We just go to either artists or songs. I'm just going to go to any of these. Just, I don't know. Let's see. It sounds like a soul song. We'll just pick one of these. Just going to pick one of these. That's too soul, actually. Let's go to pop. That's too pop. We just need something in between, something that's kind of cool, but it's not too cheesy. House. No, house is too cheesy. Blues. Do we have blues? Yes. Blues is too. What do we have here? Techno might be cool. Yep, that's it. That will do. So we just need, so what Scalar does that's amazingly good is the starting point. It is the starting point. You're not going to use these chords. I mean, I am, but you just use them as a starting point and then you mess with them, okay? Let's bring that one in. Bring that one in and that one and, no, not that one. We'll bring this one. I just keep that one playing twice. So that's scalar done. Okay, the first thing is that first chord is not going to work. I'm going to press Control J, so I've just got one thing. And the other thing is I'm going to double click on that clip, and I'm going to, I don't know why it's spanning so much time there, so I'm just going to move it, sorry, going to shorten it so it goes down there. I've just literally clicked on the play at double tempo button. Yeah, that's actually not sounding very good. So there's a few ways you can deal with the problem with the scaling. You can use a MIDI effect, and I don't know what I typed MIDI. You just need the pitch insert effect. So I just put a pitch in there. Something is not right here. Yes, so let's get this going. So that's your chord. So basically that's it. So I'm just listening to it by ear. It's still not a great chord combination, and this is really where scale is a starting point, but really you're going to have to change the chords. So there, just want to get them to be kind of a similar level in terms of their octaves. So that's good. So I've taken the bass chords. Sorry, I've taken the bass chords, and there you go. I've created other sets of chords. These doesn't necessarily mean these are going to be the chords we end up with, but they sound better than what we got at the start. So a couple of things we could do now. This is where we get experimental. We can go all disco. Well, we can go all disco, and that just literally means just change this to medium. We can just, what I've done is I've selected the chords and just pressed Control left, and that's just shortens the chords, and then you can select the rest of the chords and then just shift them over like that. That's maybe too much shifting. So it's just narrow. Just shift them like that a little bit. So I've just selected those original chords again and just press Control right. And that's it. That just extends those MIDI notes. Okay, so that's more promising. So it's still not great. Just going to get the M1 back. Say, scalar, goodbye scalar, you've done your job, thank you. So with the chord, I'm just going to get one of these nice sounds. I'm just trying to think, synth poly might be, let's give it a go. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, so the problem I'm hearing with all of the sounds are that they're just too, they just need to go up an octave. So 12 minus 7 is 5. So let's just bring that up to 5. That's better. Control G, duplicate the M1, and get a different sound going. I could hear it now, it's just gone. Let's just listen. So let's just reduce the choir sound down a bit. It's maybe too much. So let's just emphasize the sound by typing VAL in our plugins. That brings up all of my Valhalla plugins. Let's just bring the vintage reverb in. Just use another preset. Just tone down the mix. It's not too much, but it's a little bit. Let's get the kick start on the end of that. So that's probably too much, but let's just hear what it sounds like. As I suspected, the bass sound's not convincing me. Let's just take a different bass sound. Just using presets for now. So we've got something pretty cool there. We're going to mess with that now by pressing, well, we've already done the Control D piece. Just leave that. Press Control D again. So, and let's copy that over to the beginning. Okay, so we need just the kick in the hat. We can start with the hat, so just copy the hat right at the beginning. So just bring the M1 in a bit earlier. So I'm not actually convinced by the choir sound. Let's start again. Okay, so I'm just going to loop that bit there. Just leave the choir sound out of the thing. I'll just rename that to choir. Shit, what have I just done? So just rename that to choir. And so let's just play that again. Just going to get some, now we're going to experiment big time with some of my splice samples. No, not those. Let's just go down a bit. It's the last lot of splice samples were just drums and patterns and funky sounds. Still just drums. There's some cool stuff there. I'm just not going to use vocal sounds. See, these don't sound too bad. Let's see what that sounds like. So obviously needs to be tuned. Transpose. I'm just going to cut that by pressing Control E again. Let's just make it bigger. Shit, sorry. Wrong. Control J will just Control J just gets rid of the rest of the sample, and just want to, yeah, that's what I want it to do. Just going to go back to Valhalla. Use this VST called Space Modulator. It's actually free. It just makes everything sound nice. Vintage Verve, obviously, everything sounds amazing with that. Let's just bring it in a bit earlier. let's start here with the bass. I'm changing that sound. I didn't like that sound. If you're thinking this is random, it is. I'm just randomly auditioning sounds. Let's try this one. It's interesting. So I chose the sound and we didn't save it. So now we've got that. On the second bit, we can try something else. We can try bringing a vocal in. So earlier I showed you a sample pack. There it is, Alicia de Lebon. So just see if we can...
Coming on, get high. I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know, I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna.
It's an entire song. So let's just bring the beginning of the song in. So that's just double check that the loop has got the yeah, perfect. So it's complex, that's fine.
I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know where you've been laying at. I wanna know what.
Okay, so problem number one is tune.
I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know where you've been laying at. I wanna know what.
So one thing I've learnt with these samples is it says here that is 125 BPM. So I'm just going to type 125 in there. Hopefully that lines it up a bit better.
I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know where you've been laying at. I wanna know, I wanna know. I'm going through all the old Kodak. Wanna know why you hit me back. I wanna know, I wanna know. I wanna know where you stay. I wanna know where you stay.
That doesn't work. So I think I sounded okay like this.
I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know where you've been laying at. I wanna know, I wanna know.
Let's bring it in a bit earlier.
I wanna know where you're staying at. I wanna know where you're staying at. Wanna know where you've been laying at. I wanna know, I wanna know. I'm going through all the old Kodak. Wanna know why you hit me back. I wanna know, I wanna know. I've been holding something back that maybe you should know. I just want to give this thing, can't take it home. 'Cause we ain't seen what this could be.
So just for effect, I'm just going to take choir out there, but it seems to sound good when it comes in here.
I've been holding something back that maybe you should know. I just want to give you this thing. Can you take it home? 'Cause we ain't seen what this could be. We're playing games, just coming. Do you wanna go around?
So it's just now a big jigsaw puzzle to put together.
Do you wanna go around? Hit you up soon as I know you're down. Turn you out good when you wanna guarantee.
Oh, the loop button. I was enjoying that.
Good when you wanna guarantee. You're better here with me. Just wanna be the girl you love. Do you wanna go around? Hit you up soon as I know.
I think that's enough. So in terms of these samples, just to make it sort of a clean ending, I can just drag the crossfader at the end, and obviously at the beginning there might be a little bit of, there's nothing there, so we'll just don't worry about crossfading it there. So with these vocals, you can do quite a few things with them. I will just bring a reverb into these. I think we've got reverb in here, and we've got a kickstart. We can bring a reverb and a kickstart into the vocals. They should substantially change the sound. It's too much. So we just bring a glue compressor in on the vocals. The release goes all the way down so we can actually hear the lyrics. Okay, so that bit there where it says we, so this is the other thing, is vocals really dictate. I mean, once you put vocals in a song, it really takes shape and you can make better decisions. Okay, so on the bass bit, so we just bring that bass bit. This one here just needs to go faster, so I'm just going to don't know what I'm doing there, hold on. Don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I made it slower. I always get those two mixed up. So let's just double time that. So I'm going to join those together, and we've got this new MIDI. And that just doesn't work. That stuff, that doesn't work. Just mess around with just press press shift up, just get it up an octave. Let's bring that one there an octave. I'm just choosing them randomly. I like to choose a second one. That seems to work well, the second one. And with the second or third last ones, you can actually bring that down as well. Okay, so where that really works well, I'm going to duplicate this actually, is where that sort of sound works well. It's probably going to turn out like shit, but let's just try. Is we bring in a bass. We're going to bring in another Hive. I'm going to bring in a Hive instrument. Hive's got very good monosynths, and we need a monosynth for this to work. Sorry, mono leads. That's what it's called. You need a mono lead. So let's listen. Not there. Here. Just going to loop that. Take a monosynth. What I'm trying to do with the monosynth is just going to take those same, just going to fold that so you can just see them together. I'm going to take the same sounds, but I'm going to try and overlap them. Overlap. Overlap. Yes, you can be overlapped. So can you, and I just hope this doesn't sound like shit, and that's too much overlap. And yes, you. I don't know how this is going to sound, but just the thing about mono leads is that when they overlap, they kind of transition really, and this is really quick, so they should transition really quickly into each other. Let's just audition different sounds, different monosynths. You can hear that sort of whooshy sound, and that's actually pretty friggin' awesome. It's so awesome. I'm going to group that and put another one in just for. Presets are so fucking good that you don't have to do very much with them. But I just, what I'm trying to do now is I'm actually going to destroy it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just going to pitch bend a few things. So I'm just going to go to the MIDI control and just mess with pitch bend. So just literally, I'm going to start a bit lower here and go up. Start lower, go up. Really low. So what you have is you've got a pitch bended, you've got two layered sounds on top of each other that are very similar, but one is slightly different. One's slightly motherfucking different. Okay, so let's listen to that now. Okay, so just another schoolboy error. So the MIDI is going to affect both of these sounds. So I'm going to do is going to delete the sound of the first one. I've just duplicated the whole track. And on the delete the second one here. So we've got the same thing, but on the first one. On this one here, I'm just going to remove the envelope. So now we've got a bit of effect just to make it lighter. Just going to move it to the side. get it together. Okay, you're probably sick of that now, so I'm just going to stop that playing, just glue it together. Just bring that up. Okay, so this bit here, we've got this kind of transition. That needs percussion. How do I know that? I just feel that it needs percussion. I don't know why. So I guess when you're making your own song and you've got your own style and you are your own person, you just feel like a song should go in a certain direction, and then that's how you make decisions. Okay, so you make decisions based on your feeling, your gut feeling on how a song should go. Now, probably there are millions of YouTube videos in the world that tell you that you've got to make a song in a certain way and in a certain arrangement for it to be successful. And that's probably right. There are rules, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm not following any rules. I'm just trying to get the heart and soul, the basis of a song going by experimentation and trying stuff out. And if it sounds good, I'll keep it. And then when that's all done, I will try and arrange it in a more conventional manner. So let's, I've forgotten what I was doing here. I was just looking for some percussion. I'm going to go back to Splice, my friend Splice, to see if there's any perk. Let's just see what I've got. I just want to loop really because I can't be bothered. Too much. Going to take too long to try and. It's going to take too long to make up. I mean, you probably should make your own percussion sounds based on lots of getting all the sounds you need, and I just don't. We don't have the time here to do that. Yeah, it's disappointing. Let's try that one. No, those ones shit. So I'm just going to go to this one. So a line by themselves don't sound good, but they might sound good here. No, that still sounds like shit. Cashmere, let's see what Cashmere's got. Almost there, but it's not quite. Let's try this one. Oh, hold on. Well, that's definitely a happy accident. So that requires a transition. So let's just get some transition sounds in Splice. See what Brennan's got for us. I would normally spend more time looking for these, but right now I'll just use whatever I can find. So let's try that one. Let's make that longer. That's better. Yeah, it's not too bad. So we just keep that there. It's probably a bit loud. Let's reduce it a little bit. Need snares. Now I've got loads of these. I would actually normally make these myself, but I went through a bit of a phase when I was just collecting them from Splice. Just choose this one here. It doesn't, yeah, it's very long. Let's just listen to it. There's almost not able to hear it. It's very soft, actually. Good compressor. I was thinking that'd be more powerful. That's fine. That's fine. We can make it more powerful. We'll just get a compressor. Get this just standard compressor going. Now, I'm just going to, oh shit, sorry. I'm going to take the automation mode off. I'm going to just, I just like, with these little breaks, I like to pan them. So that's all the way there, and that's all the way there. That's too much there, of course. Whoops. It just should be a little bit there, and that should be a little bit down. You can barely tell the difference there. I'm just going to take that loop up a notch. Just don't want it to clip. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oops, sorry. So that really cool mono lead sound, it's got to come back because this is too boring. Too boring. So let's just copy that onto one of the tracks. That's shit. So just bring on the other one. I like it. So just this is where the magic is here. Everything is good except I don't like the instrument. I'm just going to duplicate that. And I'm just going to press, I'm going to press 0 to, so the clip is now disabled. It's going to go back into Hive, my friend Hive, and we don't need the instrument rack actually, so I'm just going to press Alt-Shift-G to get rid of the instrument rack. And to press it again. I'm going to select another sound here. the effects. The effects are no good. So let's click on the effects. Get rid of the delay. I don't like the delay.
Do you wanna go around? 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 Do you wanna go around?
I'm going to press the 0 again.
Do you wanna go around? Do you wanna
So I'm going to duplicate
Do you wanna go around? Do you wanna go around?
them. So since we got the automation going, I think it's just a bit loud. So I'm just gonna start bring that there. Just bring it up a little bit. Let's start. We want to hear a little bit, but I don't want it to be too loud. But I just want it to sort of get louder as it goes.
Do you wanna go around? Wake you up soon as I know you're down. Tell you I'm good when you wanna run. See, you're better here with me.
Okay, so by this stage, everyone's getting bored of the do bit, and we just need a bit of choir. Oh shit, there. No, not there. Oh, idiot. So need to bring that back down to narrow. It's just that's better. The other thing is we just needs a bit more variation here. Just going to go mental a little bit. Just make the notes a bit shorter and just repeat them. So that's there in that group. And just here we want to so that's not what I wanted. I want the bass to go a bit mental. So they're all called bass because I duplicated the tracks. So I'm gonna have to I'll rename all that stuff later. Let's listen to this bass. So and let's just take this off. Yeah, so that's the actual basses here. So that's how good my memory is. Just going to go mental with the bass. So just bring it down. Oh shit! Bring the whole thing down by pressing Control down, Shift down. That's not going to sound good. Let's bring it back up. So the other thing I can try to just give it variation is to literally we're just duplicating shit. Just get it sounding a bit faster. Let's make sure it's in rhythm. But we don't want the notes to overlap because otherwise they'll just glide because they're mono. Just make them short. So I've just duplicated that again and just going to bring this really nice shit right to the beginning. So that kind of goes with that sort of vocal. Fucking good. So let's just listen to it again. So immediately I'm hearing problems with the vocals. Really what I should have done is get a return track. So on the vocals, where are the vocals? They are here, of course they are. So this bit, the Valhalla and the kickstart, really we just put them in the return track. And the reason we do that is because of this. So right now, let's just give it a name that we can understand. Vocals, so frustrating. That's better. And we will see the vocals here. Just change the sends. Just wanna be the guy you love. Okay, we're just going to get a glue. We just get a compressor, actually, just normal compressor. By the way, I do have the filter compressor. I just haven't learnt how to use it. So just using the standard glue or normal compressor from Ableton, which I think is pretty good, actually. So we just sidechain the vocals. So what we're doing here is we're sidechaining the vocals. So whenever, and this is on the return. So the vocals are actually being routed into here, okay? And they're being sidechained against the vocals. So what that means is whenever the vocals play, there is no reverb and there's no sidechain, if that makes sense. But I'm actually using kickstart as a sidechainer. So let's bring down the threshold for that. Just wanna be the girl you love. So you still have that reverb, but it doesn't affect the vocals. Just wanna be the girl you love. Okay, you can hear that sort of that tail there, which is what I should have done in the beginning. Okay, so there's just a couple more tricks up my sleeve that I'm going to show you. So on the kick, we're going to bring the kick starter plugin, which I just think is just really good. It's a really good plugin. So you're probably wondering why you're putting a sidechain plugin on the kick, and so this shape here is saying at the beginning, in the beginning of the clip you reduce the volume, and that's where the kick is actually. So why you want to do that? And the reason I'm doing that is actually because I'm not doing it. I'm going to do the opposite, which is this. I think it's this. Just here it is. Okay, so you can actually see the signal there. It's not really doing a lot. You can actually move the thing. So you can just nudge it a little bit. That's fine. So just literally doing sidechain there, and then we're going to, on the normal bass, we're going to put the kickstart in again, and we're actually going to use the actual so where the kick is gone, going like that. Just wanna be the girl you love. So that needs a bigger dip. So I'm just going to see if I can use that one. That's better. Just wanna be the girl you love. And where it's where there's no kick here at the end, we're just going to reduce the mix to nothing. We just get rid of it because we actually want to hear the bass. similar here. Where there's no kick, you don't need a sidechain. There's nothing in there. So that's fine. If there's nothing in there, that's fine. So that's pretty much it, boys and girls. This song, normally I would just continue working on it, and it could go for another hour. It could go for hours. I don't know. But for now, this is a relatively complex song. The vocals, I don't know if I would use these vocals. They're just there to give the song a bit of a structure. And I might even take them out and then sing my own vocals, or get someone else to sing the vocals, or not even have vocals. So I guess the point is, you kind of make the rules as you go. What you're looking for is the core structure of a song, and then at the end, you're looking to then turn it into a commercial, actual song with, it's mastered and mixed and etc. and etc. I haven't even gone into the mixing and the mastering. You've seen me use Pro EQ, some compressor, but I haven't actually mixed any of these tracks, and I definitely haven't. You can see here there's no mastering or anything on the song. If I added mastering, it would sound just a million times better. So just let's go out by hearing a little bit of what I've concocted. See you later.
'Cause we ain't seen what this could be. We're playing games just coming. Do you wanna go around? Hit you up soon as I know you're down. Turn you up good when you want to guarantee. You're better here with me. Just wanna be the girl you love.
Thanks. I'm actually mastering it. See you later. Bye.